I like a drink. So what? I was breastfed until I was 6. So you could say I've always relied on the drink in some way. But a gin and tonic, or 2, never hurt anyone. It's the tonic that's more dangerous. It's got quinine in it, which can cause all sorts of side effects. Dizziness, headaches, blurred vision. Much the same as gin itself, so go figure. So gin and tonic is my drink of choice. But I'm not fussy. If I want a glass of cider, I'll have that too. People seem to have this wrong idea. If you have a drink in the house, you're an alcoholic. If you drink in the daytime, you're an alcoholic. So I must be an alcoholic then. You're probably wondering how I know all of this useless information. 2 words. Pub quizzes. Yeah, I'm not really an alcoholic. Despite my family history. Take my mother, for instance. Wish someone would. She definitely is. Glass of wine as soon as she wakes up. She says it's medicinal. And it may well be. It hasn't stopped her dementia at all. It's just now she can't remember if she's had her medicine or not. Anyway, I don't reach for a drink as soon as I wake up. And I don't hide it round the house or anything. I live on my own, so there's no one to hide it from. Well, apart from Penny, of course. But I'm not sure bitches count. Penny's me dog. And she's a bitch. But only in the biological sense of the word. I got Penny from a rescue centre. God, she was in a right mess. Her hair was all matted. It was like she was covered in a knitted blanket. They weren't going to let me take her, but because I volunteered there, they knew I would get her into good shape. Hours spent combing her fur and conditioning it. And not just with dog conditioner either. I used Pantene on Penny. I didn't even realise she was an Afghan hound until I mentioned it to Juliet. Juliet runs the shelter. And she told me that's why Penny was abandoned, because the owners didn't want anything to do with Afghanistan. Unbloody believable. Gormless idiots. Shouldn't be allowed to have pets. Don't work there anymore. It's a shame. I miss it. Right. I love fellas. I love sex. There. What's wrong with that? I'm a woman who knows what she likes and goes for it. I love meeting new people, making new friends. I mean, as you get older, it becomes a bit more difficult. You know, your old friends are all paired up and they really don't want a single attractive woman coming around flirting with their husbands. And fellas generally seem to, click with me. I like a laugh and a dance and, fun. What's the point in going out if you can't have fun? My old friends don't invite me out anymore. Who needs them? There was this one guy started chatting me up in the supermarket at the fish counter. Lovely he was, Italian or Greek or something. Tall, dark, handsome. As far as I could remember, because I was plastered. Why is she buying fish when she's pissed? Well, before you jump to the wrong conclusion, it was 10 o'clock and I'd been to the pub, hadn't I? And I fancied a prawn cocktail. Anyway, this guy starts chatting me up, and before I know it, he's taking me around the back of the co-op. Didn't see that coming. Fair enough. 2 consenting adults. A few days later, I see him in the park. Pretends he doesn't know who I am. I mean, completely blanks me. Although I think he was with his wife or girlfriend or whatever. But it was as if he'd never laid eyes on us. I mean, in his life. Never mind, you know what, behind the co-op? A little bit embarrassing. He should have just said or tipped me a wink or whatever. I met some fella at the bus stop. Mutual attraction. He felt it, I'm sure. Anyway, we went to Spoons. Not my choice, but it was near. He bought me a cider and a whiskey chaser. Then he started going on about his cock. And how massive it is. How he's got to keep buying a new pair of jeans because his massive dick left a faded patch where he dressed. Showed us too. No, not his cock. His jeans. I suppose they were a bit pale around the crotch. I tried to look interested, but he was just a bit too forward. So what if he did have a big cock? I mean, I've got a big fanny. You don't hear me bragging about it. For all and sundry. It all started to get a bit out of hand. I was drinking 2-3 bottles a night. Wine, of course. Even I couldn't drink that much gin. Hours would vanish. And I was coming home with all sorts. And most of the time, I couldn't even remember the sex. That was a bit pointless. I think it was more for the company, to be honest. Didn't want to come back home to an empty flat. I mean, Penny's great. She's great. But she's not much of a conversationalist. Not with any of the fellas I brought back. Or if there were, nothing sticks in my mind. It all came to a head last October. I met this guy at the local, Davy. I'd seen him about and I thought, oh, he's a bit young. He was very easy on the eyes, sandy hair that he kept brushing from his pale blue eyes and ridiculously long eyelashes, like a young Brad Pitt. I'd never have said anything though. I mean, it's a bit gross, isn't it? Women of my age chasing after a 20-year-old, but came over to me. And first we were chatting about Penny. Said he liked dogs. The hairier the better. She even let him stroke her. He had such nice hands too. I slapped myself before I knew it. I was telling him my life story and he seemed interested. We'd even lived on the same street a few years back. Not at the same time, but still. I almost didn't want to take him back to mine. Didn't want to spoil a lovely evening we'd had, chatting and getting to know each other. But once we were outside, he kissed me. Oh, it was lovely, deep and passionate. I'd had a kiss like that for years. And Penny slopping all over my face didn't count. So, he came back to mine. Thankfully, the place was all neat and tidy because I'd been cleaning all weekend. Didn't remember going to bed, which was weird because I didn't drink that much. Definitely less than usual. And only woodpecker. And we got on so well. Had such a connection. He'd gone the next morning, left the front door open too. And Penny had wandered out, and the old wife down the road had to bring her back. Stark as, with a banging head, I was, as she walked in, Penny trotting in behind her, pleased as punch. My laptop was gone. And so was my £2 jar. 3 years I'd been saving them up. There's probably about 800 quid in there. Fancy him leaving the door open though. And Penny too, she's meant to be a guard dog. I didn't call the police. I was too embarrassed. Ashamed. They'd ask questions about him. Davy, where I met him, who he was. And I've realised I didn't know. He'd spunked on me tits and I didn't even know his last name. Or even his first. The police might have thought it was him. I wondered if it was, but no. We had such a connection. Never saw him again, mind. That's why I have to stop. Embarrassment when you're drunk. You're not embarrassed. You're brazen it out. And sometimes the next day it hits you, the way you've behaved, and then the only thing you can do is get drunk again, so you're not embarrassed. Sometimes there's a physical reminder lying next to you. Or worse. I woke up next to a guy, and he'd wet the bed. And he was lying in it too, snoring away. I tried to clean it after he'd gone, but I couldn't get rid of the smell. I had to buy a new mattress in the end. Bloody expensive night out, that one. Drink helps, you know, to be someone you want to be, the cool girl who can drink anyone under the table, the risk taker, the entertainer, the comedian, the party animal. Drinking is fun. Well, it can be fun. I can't imagine socialising without it. It helps me come out of my shell. I'm not shy, but it takes the edge off. You know, there's quite a big edge. Penny died. Really, she was my only friend, my only reliable friend. It sounds daft, but with Penny I had the confidence to go out and talk to people. It's hard to go out to a pub on your own and strike up a conversation, but when you've got a beautiful, great big beautiful dog with you, and she was beautiful, and then people, well, men, they want to talk to you, although sometimes I think they were more interested in Penny and what I had to say. I don't know what I'll do without her now. Without her, I don't have to go for walks or just stop at the pub on the way home. Anyway, I'll always have something to remember her by. I don't think the shelter will let me have another dog. Don't get me wrong. I have no qualms about my ability to look after animals. But there was an incident. And it left, I left under a bit of a cloud. It's not like anyone died or anything. I was doing a shift, night shift. It's pretty boring. And I was starving, so I decided to make myself some beans on toast. And I must have dozed off because before I knew it, the smoke alarm was going off. And the sprinklers saw me right through. I dreamt I was at sea rocking around and then getting hit with a wave. There wasn't that much damage. Although the way Juliet was going on about it, you'd think they were about to shut her down. I told her it was an accident and that to be thankful that the alarms worked. But they were just concerned about what could have happened and procedures not being followed. Anyway, they gave me my marching orders in the nicest possible way, of course. Juliet said afterwards that I needed to get help. But when I asked her what she meant, she changed the subject. Let's not think about it. As I said, Penny was a very hairy dog and she molted a lot. And I've been saving the hair. As long as I've saved the £2. Should make a nice jumper. I might even get a scarf out of it. It's hard. Really hard and lonely. Part of your personality, part of your social life, part of you gone. It's been 3 weeks now. 3 weeks without a drink. Obviously a soft drink, a lager, a very weak lager, of course. Skull or a Carlin don't count. But 3 weeks without it. I should be proud. I've been told I should be proud. Because I'm not. I'm here on my own. There's no chance of a shag of seeing people because they're in the pub. If I go in, that'll be it. Is this what I want? I should stop wallowing. I'm going to pop the shops, get something nice for tea. Maybe I'll go to the Co-op. They've got a good range. Get a nice piece of cod. Maybe something to wash it down with. Maybe.
Happiness hit first. towards her.